We do lots of different drills, different sessions. I mean, I think as a coach, we're always trying to teach. So I think there's so many drills that we look at that are part of that coaching, trying to create game-like situations, and then getting people receiving the back foot, not square. So there's lots of things that we do throughout the course of the week that in essence it's education. Yeah, we always want to do that. I think that's a drill that we do regularly. I think there's so many things that we do. I would say quite often and speak about. I mean, we go through individual clips, we go through team clips, we go through unit work. So there's so many aspects to what we do. It's never just one simple thing. There's probably about I would say between 10 and 15 things that we need to hit each week, sometimes more. It's part of the job. Really good. I mean, I thought our professionalism was excellent. I thought the performance was very, very good. But I think the temptation is when you get a tie like that is to maybe let your guard down and not approach the game in the right way. But the players' professionalism was excellent, and again, I can't speak highly enough of our guys. I mean, their mentality, their approach to professionalism, top class, on and off the pitch. Really, really great guys. Yeah, a bit of both. I think you want composure, you want desire. I think it's fire in the belly, ice in the mind. I think that you're trying to speak about those things. It's very easy to say, I think to replicate that in training is very hard, because obviously in the game you have pressure. In training you don't. And I think it's like penalties. You practice a penalty shootout in training, everyone's scoring. You get the crowd, you get the referee, you get the atmosphere, you get the pressure. It's very difficult to replicate. So I think it's being mindful of it, and then equally just making sure that people are trying to obviously be a little bit more ruthless. I mean, I think for us, there's each year there'll be different teams. I think records, there'll be more goals, there'll be less goals. There'll be the biggest thing for us is winning. I think that's what we're all about, is trying to win games. So I think for us, it's when I look at the opportunities that we've created, we probably should have more goals, but we've got great belief in all our players to take those chances. And I'm sure we'll get a game where we give somebody a good hiding like we did the other week. I think we're very capable of that, and I think it's making sure that people are in the right place at the right time, and then we just get that last little piece. He can play everywhere. George can play wide right, wide left, play central. Niall can play central, wide right, wide left. Brian can play central, wide right. So for us, it's looking at the opposition, what we think will cause them problems. How are the lads' fitness? How are they feeling? How are they training? So there's so many aspects to it. I think with all of those three, Mark Anthony's the same. Can play across the front three in any position. So, but they tend to rotate the lads. I mean, if George has played centrally, he was in centre. In the centre against Pittsburgh, he pulls out wide. I mean, we do that regularly with all our guys. I don't like one person playing one role in those attacking positions. I like people to be able to interlink and change and play multiple positions across those front three positions. But all the guys can do that. Yeah, I mean, again, we're not going to get ahead of ourselves. I think Cincinnati will be a very tough game. Obviously, we're certainly looking forward to that game. So our focus is completely on Cincinnati. We want to looking past Cincinnati. I think it'll be a very tough game, but we want to be fully focused on making sure we're right for that game. Really, I think he's been, as said many times, he's been very unfortunate not to score more goals. I think his performance was really good. I think when you look at, not just Brian, I think when you look at that first half again, I thought we had some really excellent passages of play and caused Pittsburgh a lot of problems. Credit to them. I thought second half they came back and they started to create some issues for us as well. But Brian has been very good. His work ethic has been very strong. He's a threat with his pace, and he's someone we've got tremendous belief in. So I'm really pleased to see him get a little bit of recognition from the league as well. I think when you look at the appeal sort of process, I think you need to be very diligent how you approach it. I think it's more a case if the appeal goes against you, then you end up maybe with a bigger ban and you end up with a bigger fine. So for us, it's just managing that. Personally, I thought it was very harsh, but again, you're going to get decisions like that. I mean, he'll miss the Charleston game. It's part of it. We manage the squad. We now go into a period where we've no game this weekend, but then we go Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Sunday. So we go into a load of games now. So we need to manage the squad as well. I don't know. I mean, I feel for Sean because he's a great kid, lovely left foot, very capable of playing. I think he found it hard to adjust. Number of aspects. I think I've obviously lived that where you come away from home for the first time. I think it can be a little bit challenging. I think then equally the expectation of maybe how good the guys were. I think people in Ireland wouldn't necessarily know a lot about the USL, and I think maybe there was a little bit of a culture shock as to how good our guys were. Then the intensity of training, the expectations. So there's a number of things that I think he found a little bit hard to cope with. But I mean, he's a great kid. You know, I wish him all the very best, and a lot of respect for him and his dad. And you know, hopefully he'll find a club where he can go and play some games, because he's a very talented player. He's a smashing left foot. No, I mean, generally what we do is we'll bring in guys and just have a look at them, and just generally throughout, pretty much from now right the way through, we'll have guys in. We'll have some of the U of L lads come train with us. We'll have other college kids that'll come train with us. So I think for us it's just trying to look at things and trying to see how we can best manage things. Yeah, everyone is okay. Yeah, no, I mean, Speedy's now he's still a little bit of pain, but not as bad. So I think again trying to manage that and manage the niggles this is the best time to do it now. We've got a break this weekend, so we'll try and do that as best we can. I don't know, to be honest with you. I think our focus has been sort of, mine certainly, on the league. I think from the club standpoint, trying to get the finer detail on all the other aspects to what's going on. So it's something I'm sure may or may not happen. We'll need to speak to the owners, but I think as regards the priority list, that's not high on the priority list at the moment.